Will Ramos may have the most shocking voice I've ever heard in my life. Just being completely honest with you guys. We checked out To The Hellfire from Lorna Shore, and you guys insisted, and I think for good reason, that I check out his one-take vocal playthrough because I was just dumbfounded by how he did what he could do, and I cannot wait to hear a little bit more about how he is able to do what he's able to do and just kind of see it more in a more raw setting and really fully understand it. I'm just so excited to have my mind blown by this, guys. Hopefully you are too. We're going to be checking out today, guys, To The Hellfire by Lorna Shore. There we go. And this is the one-take vocal playthrough, guys. Super stoked for this. With that being said, let's get into it. This is amazing. So I loved the first version that we saw, which was the live performance. It was incredibly theatrical, amazing. But I kind of like this better. I'm not gonna lie, because I can really see a lot of nuances of what he's doing. And so obviously we can't see inside of his vocal cords yet, but it's so cool. Like just seeing his breathing, his breathing technique, a lot of his facial shaping. There's so many classically trained things that he does at a very high level. I mean, his breathing is really good. His sustained phrases are incredible, and you can see, like, when he's breathing in, he's breathing with really good technique. He's not got the shoulders crunching up and all that stuff. When he's singing, same idea. He's not crunching up his shoulders. He's not crunching up his throat, anything like that. Like, you can tell that it's a technically flawless singing style. Like it's just really cool to see this, because just hearing it and seeing it in the performance, you would think a lot of this is done in, post-production, and that there's no way he could do all this without doing weird things to his throat and his voice and that are harmful. And you can tell just by watching that that's not the case. Like, he's doing all of this in a really high level professional way. It is just really impressive. I love the mouth shaping in particular. We're going to talk more about that as we keep going. The mouth shaping is how he's able to do a lot of what he's doing. And then, of course, the vocal cords are a whole other thing that we'll talk more about in a little bit here. Let's keep going, though, guys. Yeah. It gets up moving way more in the nasal cavity. Oh, I love that line there. Oh. gosh, I forgot. So it's been a little while since we did the original song. I forgot how much I love some of the melody and the lines that are in this song. Oh my gosh, it's so good. We're gonna talk a little bit about his face shape right now, guys. Some of the stuff that he's doing with his face shape are just so good. And again, we talked earlier about how like it's really high level performance. Like this is stuff that people are taught like classically, and he's doing it exceptionally well. So when he's getting a lot of these deeper, darker sounds, way more open jaw. You can tell that he's kind of pushing his lips forward a lot, trying to close that in to get that dark, cavernous, hollow sound. But then when he wanted some of that more, that, what's the word I want to look for? Some of the things that it's more in, it's like almost ripping apart. I don't know how to describe it. Thinner, ripping apart, any of that kind of stuff. Because obviously a lot of that is like that. But when he strays more towards that kind of a sound, he puts a lot of the sound. He really, really brings that sound up into his nasal cavities. It's usually what we tell kids not to do when they're singing, because we don't typically in a classical setting want a really nasally sound when they're singing kind of a thing. But when he wants that kind of intentional sound, he's really pushing that sound up into his nasal cavities, lifting the cheeks up, so to speak, and it really kind of makes that E sound go from E to E. Like it's again, you can see it in my face when I do it too. E versus E. Like it's almost like you're smiling up to your ears or something like that. Like, but you could see that in his face when he's doing that to get more of that intentional sound going on. And then also, I love, again, you can see, again, just the shape of his face. I love this stuff, guys. This is so cool. He just pulls his lips and his cheek back on some of these where he wants it kind of to thin out a little bit and get a little bit more aggressive versus that dark, cavernous sound that he's getting when he really drops that jaw way down and open. And obviously, so we're talking right now just facial stuff. This is just how he's able to facially impact the sound and what's happening. We're not even getting into the vocal cords yet. Like that's the whole next level with him being able to do all of these multiple tones and pitches and things that he's got going on. It's crazy, crazy good. All right, let's keep going. Man, his releases too. Oh. Again, real close, and then now it'll open. Yeah. Look at his tongue. We need to talk about his tongue yet. Interesting how his cheeks are puffing too. Oh gosh, there's so much cool stuff. So we didn't talk about his tongue at all yet either, and there's so many things that he's doing with his tongue. Again, this is one of these things that's really hard to like explain to kids when you're trying to teach them a lot of this vocal technique and facing, your face shapes and vowel sounds and all that stuff. We do a lot of exercises to try to get them there. But it's just so cool. Like I almost wish that the filter wasn't there, the pop filter wasn't there, so we could see it a little bit more. But some of the stuff that he's doing with his tongue, even the placement of his tongue, guys, has a massive impact on the sound that he's getting with him. So you could hear it a lot in a lot of his stuff because he's bringing the top of his tongue up in his mouth. But then we see sometimes where he's trying to get more of an the darker, deeper, cavernous sound. That tongue drops way down. But then he brings the front of the tongue up. It's so cool. Like, so we have the typical, like, think of the doctor's office, if you want that tongue way down in the back. But then if you do that and then bring the front of your tongue up, like, it just can affect that sound ever so slightly. And he's doing all these little things with the tongue, the cheek, the air placement, when he's singing as well. It's just so cool. And then obviously the big thing is the false vocal cords and creating all of that stuff, which, like I said, that unfortunately we can't see in this video. You can hear it happening. You know that he's doing it. I don't listen. I'm saying I know that he's doing it because I've read about that. I cannot do that. I don't know how he does it. It's insane how he is able to pull off what he is doing. I know of very few people in the world that are able to do what he is doing. Like, just crazy good. Man, all right, let's finish it out, guys. Just so cool. His release is so clean too. I forgot to talk about that. Right there, super clean release. My final breath, swallow. So yeah. How does that not? I don't know how he does that without hurting stuff. So most everything, I understand how he's vocally not hurting himself at all. You could see that it's like crystal clear, good vocal technique. Like, it doesn't hurt his voice at all. That ending part, though, especially when he's like, he's breathing in, I believe is what's happening there, and almost pulling the air in past like his what's it called, epiglottis or something like that. I forget what it's called. And making that vibrate. I think something to that effect, or he's pulling the air in. You know, you guys get what I'm saying. But he's pulling the air in instead of out to produce that sound. That has to, I would think, hurt. I don't know. But like, this is, I don't know how he does that and doesn't hurt his voice. That's crazy. So much of this is, I just don't understand how he does it. Again, like we need, I know it exists. We haven't checked it out yet. We need to like get in there and actually see what is happening. How does he do that, especially at the end? Like that, I mean, that sounds like me when I have a cold. Like, I'm trying to like snort in my sinus mucus and stuff. How does he do that? And not hurt himself. I should clarify.
Thanks for watching.
Just nuts, guys. Like, again, I talked about like so much of the classically trained stuff, high level musicianship. It's all there. Like, he's clearly a master in his field. The precision with his releases and breaths and entrances, like it's all flawless. It's all flawless. It's just it's incredibly good, and I don't know how he does it. We got to get into this more. We got to get into this more and see more of how he's doing this stuff with his vocal cords, false vocal cords, all that jazz. I need to know more. It's cool to know that none of that was processed, really. Like, almost everything that we saw in the original video is done live. Like, that's mind-blowingly amazing. Let me know, first of all, in comments, guys, if this is something we need to keep going down. Is this a rabbit hole we need to keep going down? Do we need to check out the videos of him going down with his throat and all that jazz? If so, let me know, and we're going to keep going down that rabbit hole because this is really, really cool stuff. Secondly, let me know if you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you guys put on a like. I'd appreciate that, everybody. If you want to catch more of the content that we got, guys, though, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss anything. Last but not least, guys, just want to say a special thank you to our patrons. Could not do this without them. They're massively supportive for us here on the channel, and couldn't do it without them. Just want to say thank you again to them so much for all that they do. With that being said, everybody, catch you next time.
Just cannot be beat.